Huh? Huh? Who said femboy? We have no femboys here. Femboys are elsewhere. Hello, though, chat. Hi. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Hi. How's everyone doing? Have we all good? Have we been playing 40k? I've been playing 40k. Obviously, I've been playing 40k. There isn't really a way to stop me playing 40k. Oh, congrats. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a number. It's a number that's certainly gone up a bit. Yeah, I mean, last week... This is, in case you didn't know, the new model is going to be revealed in this stream. The new model having been ready only for a few days, really. And that was as a 500 subscriber reward. Having reached 500 subscribers about 7 days ago. So having a crazy doubling of the numbers, it's quite impressive. Apparently, YouTube sort of figured out, oh, this man posts about 40k, like, every day. He talks about the four-armed emperor a lot. Maybe we should put his, like, videos in front of people that like 40k. Like, what if we did that? What a crazy thought. So yeah, this has gone way quicker than it should have in theory. You've never played 40k once and you have no friends, hence watching VTubers. That is so unfortunate. We will be your sort of pretend online friends, not actually friends, because that's parasocial, but we don't talk about that. But yeah. Oh no, I'm the face of Genestealer Cult tubers. Well, okay then, I'll have to run with that for as long as I can. I know a lot of people came for Genestealers, so there's going to be at least one video next week that's on Genestealers, and then we'll see how... I've got like 4 of them to go, bit at a time. You love 40k, never played 40k? That's totally fine. You learn stuff as you go, or you can just enjoy the lore, the memes, the VTuber that talks about them. So yeah, there will definitely be more Genestealer Cult stuff, gonna do more Chaos stuff, and then, hopefully, next weekend, a massive, like, Battle Sisters marathon, essentially. It depends how well I are able to, like, edit it, but we'll be looking at an hour and a half, you know, feature-length Battle Sister content, and I was planning to do that, like, as a premiere, so as it's playing, I can be there in the chat to answer questions as we go along and help people out if they're having Battle Sister trouble. Yeah. So that's a plan. I just need to realize I'd talked about it for 4 hours. It's been recorded. It's just editing it way down. Yes, you can build friends. Build friends out of plastic and have stories and fun things with them. Hey, I recognize Elk21. You're not a new person. You've fallen in love with Iron Warriors. I play Imperial Fists. Where's the ban button? Somewhere there's a ban button. We don't mention the cage. Nothing happened at the cage. Yeah, so it seems that very recently YouTube realized what I do and put like me in front of people that, you know, like VTubers and or 40k. The live streams are a bit more VTubery generally. The videos are more 40k generally. Gotta get that nice mix. Gotta break the Skitarii. Oh, that's entirely possible. Yes, that's relatively easy to do at the moment. In 3D printing AdMech to get into the game. That's entirely an option. It's like with passwords. That password security thing. Like, if you make your password incredibly easy, then, you know, it's easy to break. If you make it hard, then it reaches a point where it gets too hard and people write it down, and then everyone can get it. And that's sort of where Games Workshop is with the pricing. They did it quite cheaply at first, relatively, and it was fine. They could have made more money than they did, then they went too far, and now everyone's realized, oh, we can get pretty cheap 3D printers. Yeah. First video you were shown was the Rise of the Genestealer Cult lore overview. That was, a few weeks ago, because I did that for the index reveal, the sort of teaser index reveal stuff they did. If you want to know a secret, like a trade secret, I record half of my videos before any of that news came out, because I was able to predict exactly what's going to come, and I was mostly on point. And then I just add in an introduction and a conclusion, and it's like, there you go. Everything else just fits. Yeah. So the algorithm is starting to pick it up. It's definitely picking it up, what I do. But then again, the algorithm hasn't quite got to the point where you just need to think about, oh, maybe I should have a yoga mat. And suddenly there's the doorbell rings and there's a guy there holding a yoga mat. He doesn't know why he's there. You don't know why he's there. But then the yoga mat, and suddenly everything makes sense. It's your yoga mat now. The money has already been taken from your account. You're a Tau player, but I thought the general 10th ed info was good and informative. Excellent. I do try and be a generalist. Sort of. I kind of wish I'd gone Genestealer Cult harder. One of my videos that did it quite well early on was, here's the demon release. Okay, we're not going to talk about Chaos Demons. We're going to talk about what the Genestealer Cult look like, because they do loads of, deep strikey shenanigans. So I was able to predict that. That video did well, and I should have just gone, let's talk about Genestealer Cult for a while now, rather than every single faction. But it's worked. It's okay. Things are fine. Yeah. How long have I been playing? I've been playing since 2nd edition. So that's like 1998. I have a lot of knowledge of all of the stuff, which is why I'm able to predict what's coming, and stuff like that. You would end up with 7 piles of stuff. Ah, yeah. What's happening to the stream? Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It flickered, but it's fine. We can get back to live. Yeah. Yeah, if it happened, you get like loads of piles of armies and stuff. Yeah. Sometimes you just maybe should buy those 7 armies, but staggered over like several years. Can you talk about how the lore of Genestealer Cult has changed since 2nd edition? Surprisingly, it hasn't changed very much. They were in 2nd edition, then basically not at all. So 3rd edition, 4th edition, it was just like background to the Tyranids, like, oh yeah, and then we have this unit called the Genestealers, and they set up some cults, and what do you know, some stuff sometimes happens there. But anything like mind-controlled people, Brood Brothers, the cult limo, that's gone, but I suppose you could use it in the current rules as a truck. That'd be fine. The Patriarch no longer has a throne, except if you got the Overkill box set, then you got a card picture of a throne for the model to sit on. Yeah. Otherwise, the lore is like basically the same. Oh, yeah, you need to look up Genestealer Cult Limo. It was all very... They had a weird mix of like Italian mafia, but also the British mining resistance in the 1980s against the government. So that's why all of the Genestealer Cult are miners. It was that sort of rebellion against the government and tyranny. Got a 30k Wordbearer army, an old guard thing, and now a Discord community homebrew marine thing. Very nice. Yeah, I love the limo. Limo was very pretty. It was a good one. Yeah. So there's a lot of fun models to look up. There was no Primus. That's about one of the few things that's new. There was no such thing as a Primus, and all of the other random dudes like the Clamavus and the Nexus, they didn't exist. The Cowboy was a design choice for sure. And I'll do a video on the Cowboy eventually. But I'm going to do like the Patriarch and Genestealers and also Neophytes, because I haven't talked about Neophytes a lot. They'll get videos as we go. I was figuring out which way is the better way to do it. Take a faction like Genestealer Cult and then do a lot of videos on each different unit, or do it in one massive blob like I'm going to do with the Battle Sisters next weekend. And then, you know, we'll see how that massive thing goes. But that's just one video by itself. I think a lot is easier, especially for editing. Any thoughts on the Warhound, Canis Rex, Imperial Agent, Genestealer list archetype? It's a fun, weird one. It doesn't include any Genestealers. That's where you say, okay, I will have no more than a quarter of my army be Imperial Guard, as in using the Brood Brothers rules. So you take one unit, and then, as you're not taking any actual Genestealer Cult units, but still calling it Genestealer Cult and using the Genestealer Cult detachment, so it's fine with Brood Brothers, you go, okay, all of the units in my army have the Imperium keyword, because you no longer replace Imperium with Tyranids. That means, since you have the entirety of your army so far entirely with the Imperium keyword, you can have a Warhound. And then you can also ally in an Imperial Knight. And then, also, you can add an Inquisitor. And suddenly you have a Genestealer Cult army that is a Titan, a Knight, one Imperial Guard squad, and an Inquisitor. But technically, it's a Genestealer Cult army. Yeah, so that's a fun, interesting one. I don't think it's very playable, but it's funny. I haven't seen the AdMech list that can kill itself in one go. But, you know, I don't know a lot of people that play AdMech. If you're using that archetype, you're just an Astra Militarum player. Yeah, trying to lower the win rate of Genestealer Cult. That would be nice. At the end of 9th edition, Genestealer Cult were at the top, which thankfully only got us one nerf on a secondary. So it'll be interesting to see in like 2 months' time, after they've had the Space Marine Codex, after they've had the Tyranid Codex, then we'll see who gets the nerfs. That'll be interesting. Hopefully not Genestealer Cult, even though 5-man Demolition Bomb team is very powerful. And I'm going to talk about them again when I do the next Genestealer Cult video. I mean, I also make fun of your love of Centurions only stamina. The idea of, I want Space Marines, so I put my Space Marine inside another Space Marine to make them even more Space Marine is just hilarious. And I think, you know what's going to happen? They'll release a new Primaris Lieutenant in Centurion armor to lead the Centurions. AdMech does it by having a bunch of stuff in planes, and then Battle Boy, less data Smiths deploy alone, Smiths auto, right. Oh, I see. With the transport rules. Yeah, it's a diverse list as well, but does, I see, technically table itself in one go. Centurion Apothecary, but it's just an ambulance with drills on the side. I don't know if any of you noticed, but if not now, I think it was actually in 9th edition, they got rid of the Genestealer Cult terrain piece, the big drill that was causing like better deep strike and also earthquakes. That went, but I don't think anyone noticed. Just like they've gotten rid of the Battle Sisters, the shrine. No more shrine. No more portable religion. Really, I just want a drop cathedral. Give me a cathedral you can slam down with units inside it. We don't have drop pods. So yeah. Oh yeah, 8th edition. Only in 8th edition, the Genestealer Cult had a fortification, which was a big drill. If you look up some of the, I think it was compatible with like the Mechanicus style terrain, that's where they were like, okay, it's going to just plug onto this. It's a terrain piece. It doesn't really matter anymore. You don't have it as a unit. They dropped the drag drill? I assume it's frag drill. Maybe I wanted another one for a conversion idea. I think it was called the frag drill. Yeah, frag drill. The drills. And then the mining weapons that you can have on acolytes, they're all the same kind of thing. It doesn't matter if you're a cutter to snip characters in half, a saw for heavy infantry, Or the drill to just have a Terminator on the end, lift them up and spin them round until they die. Yeah, I like the diversity you had with that. Especially since they weren't an army that has a lot of unit choices. There's what, 4 actual units? 5 with the bikes? And then a couple of vehicles? And then a million characters? Yeah, very small army roster to pick from. Oh, we have many people in chat today. Yeah, you see, yes, I now have 1,000 subscribers. That is shot straight up. Really shot up from, this last week. What does it mean that's different? Literally nothing. YouTube announced that if you have at least 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time, then you can have, chat things, and if you pay money, then a chat thing will appear. Well, I'm slightly down on the 3,000 views thing, but that'll happen, probably the next week. And then the next live stream, we can have that. But I thought, rather than just wait around for YouTube to do a thing, I'll add my own. So we now have a thing I'll mention later. Yeah, what would I like added to Genestealer Cult? I mean, bring back the limo. That's important. Definitely need the limo back. Otherwise, it's probably fine as it is, weirdly. They're based on one unit. You're getting an entire faction of one unit. It's like all of the Age of Sigmar things. Oh, we have this one ghost unit in Vampire Counts. Well, now it's an entire faction called Nighthaunt. Oh, we have the ghouls in Vampire Counts. Well, now it's an entire faction of ghouls. So other than bring back the limo, it's probably fine. Worst thing they could do is add even more characters. Don't need more characters. I like the idea of them being able to place mines, like the Tyranids. Yeah. Or more Mad Max Genestealer Cult units. Yeah, you could do kind of what they've done for Necromunda and have these big trucks with stuff inside the trucks. Oh wait, we already have cult trucks. Okay, maybe something to diversify from the mining theme. Just a little bit. Without it being just, we borrowed from the AdMech. Or we borrowed from some other unit. Something like that. Clergy unit? Clergy fanatics? An actual suicide demolition team? Rather than just, here's some acolytes, hope you don't roll ones for those hazardous tests. That would suck. But yeah. Okay, I'm going to do some VTubery things. So, I never actually showed off this model. It was just, here's a debut short video. Debut stream, I talked about the new 40k stuff. So I never actually showed off this model. So we have the very floppy hair, which flops around a lot, which is good. It's staying. There we go. I'm going to come closer. There, I've got my own teeth. I made the teeth myself. And that came out of keratin. So I made it with a lot of hair stuff. Yeah, some teeth. Only baby teeth. They're not actually shark teeth. Shark teeth is an option. Something you could, in theory, do with some stuff. This was much easier. I just had to grow hair inside my own head and have it come through my face and then paint it white. So for explaining the model, I'm probably going to explain it a lot like you would with painting Warhammer models, because that's kind of how I think about it. I'm not a Blood Angels guy. I mean, I like the Blood Angels. Yeah, I like the Blood Angels, but I play Imperial Fists because I hate yellow. And yet I'm stuck with it. So every model has to be yellow. Mixing it with brown helps a bit. I'm hoping that at some point I can do a collab with a painter who can actually help me out. Teeth so underdeveloped, barely unable to... I'd have a straw. Just... And it works. It works. Other things on the model. This model. Yes, the eyes are a little bit bloodshot. That is normal. That is just the side effects of hay fever and breathing in too many fumes. Is it surprising when I put my face straight up against the screen? I hope that's not weird. Other things, we have the nice neck thing going on with the collar that's tied up to the neck. It wasn't meant to be, but since it is, it works. I also have this small stud, the red stud. That will come into play later. Remember the red stud. That's going to come up. That was a thing. I was like, I want that, but better. So on the new model, I made it better. And I'm going to talk about models. Good, 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 good. Yeah, I also wanted something generally that like stands out. So that's why I have incredibly bright red around the cloak top. If you wondered what this top bit is, it's a cloak. If I am able to rotate, there we go. Yeah, so you can see it's a cloak on top of my coat. It's just really tight to it because of how the layering had to work. It's better. It's much better on the new model. But then you have the coat itself. Look at the thread count. You can see the individual fibers. Isn't it great? Look at it. Look at it. Look at the sleeves. You have to look at the sleeves. Yeah, it's a spot color. That's how it works with the red. It's a spot color in itself. So when you're looking at like the black and the purple, because the hair is tinged purple, the shirt is purple, then it does give it definition. So if you're thinking of just painting Warhammer models generally, I tend to find if you go for two colors, then you have a main color, a secondary color. They're the ones that you see. And then you'll have a spot color. So that'll be something that contrasts quite nicely with the others. So if you think of Imperial Fists, you do them yellow, you could do the guns black, and then you could have bright green eyes. They would show up quite nicely. Yeah. So I have some definition there. I have my bad luck necklace. That's got its own lore video that's short and it's like 30 seconds long. But, you know, I couldn't get rid of that. So the necklace, though painstaking, I have managed to recreate the necklace. I couldn't just bring the necklace from one model onto another model. No. That doesn't work properly. That's not possible. So I had to recreate the necklace entirely, bit by bit, pixel by pixel. Have I mentioned I hate Blender? Blender is horrible. But that's how you gotta make 3D models. Also, you know, there's this whole middle area in the tartan style. Tartan style, not actually tartan. And then I've got some long socks and shoes. That was meant to be more boots. It never got to be boots. I couldn't find good boots. There was nowhere that was good boots going to happen. Yes, I know Elk 21. The skirt. Yes, that. Oh, man on the internet, you didn't need to redact your message. I saw it. It's good that you appreciate the models. They're very nice. Unless the message was redacted by my bots, in which case I'm sorry. Yes, kilt. It's a kilt. We'll call it a kilt. So I think that's like all of this model, just to actually show it off before it goes away. It's not going away forever. The way it works is basically like having another set of clothes. You know how sometimes you own clothes, but also then you have more clothes, like in a wardrobe or something. And not just more of the exact same clothes like your Homer Simpson with an array of white shirts and an array of blue trousers, but actually different kinds of shirts and different kinds of trousers. This is giving me like a whole nother second wardrobe. I mean, I could just keep wearing that same new thing from the new outfit all the time and forever, but I like to mix it up, and I'll have the option to mix it up. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Yes, kilts are indeed the whole dress thing, and not just the skirt. You are correct. You have indeed watched my short on it. Yep. And more clothes has more than one shirt. I know. The economy, it's awful. Who can afford more than one shirt? Really, you've got to have two, and then you can just alternate washing them. So that's what I'm going to have to do. How did I make my model? So let's talk about VTuber models. This is as good a time as any. There's 2 different styles. No, wait, there's more. There's 4 different styles. There's face filters, which not a lot of people do, but a lot of people think that people do, where much like your Snapchat filters, it does an overlay. You can do it like that. And now that generally people are becoming aware of VTubers, say 7 years after they really first started, 5 years after they started becoming popular, 2 years after they became actually really popular and mainstream, suddenly the general media is aware of them. And they haven't a clue about how they work. So some of them think it's all face filters, so I've seen someone do like tutorial guidance on how to customize a face filter to make you look a bit like a VTuber, but only your face. And it's still you and still filming you, but with a filter. So I guess that's a new way of doing it. It's not the way that anyone really used to do it, but that's one way of doing it. Another way that's become a lot more popular because it's really not as much effort. You don't need to worry about assets or rigging. Words will come to later. But you can do PNG tubing. So if you look on my channel by videos, when I did my interview with Proxyhammer, I helped set up for him a PNG tubey thing so that when he talks, his icon lights up and it does a bit of a bounce. If you've ever seen VTubers in like large collabs before, where they used to play Among Us and things like that, and there'd be 10 of them, they would have the one person who's actually hosting the stream moving around like I am right now. Observe as I move around. Intensified gameplay. So there's that. Then the rest of them were just like along the bottom as these flashing PNGs, so you could tell which one was actually talking because it would bounce and light up. So that's called PNG tubing. And some of the like intense, like let's do a 3-hour documentary on this 40-year-old animated film that no one has ever seen. They can do PNG tubing, and then they just have like excited PNG, sad PNG, tired PNG, generally just talking PNG. And then I guess they could operate them with buttons. I also have buttons. But it should also pick up my face. So if I try and do an angry face, is that working? Yeah, so I can do angry teeth. Angry teeth like that. That's one way of doing it. If I start to laugh, then it picks it up and does the laughing. If I do something funny, or if something funny happens, I have a smug face. Smug face. If it's really sad, oh, hello. Yes, please do indeed paint and talk and listen to me talking about painting a VTuber model while you're painting your Warhammer things. Great, please do. If something sad happens, there we go. Sad face. And then if something horrifying happens, shocked face. So I guess someone with a PNG probably wouldn't have the face reaction just off that, but they could probably press a button to make the face happen. And that would work. For them. Yeah. So that's 2 ways of doing it. That's your PNG tubing and your face overlay thing. No, whatever's happening there. Where's the rest of my body gone? Good. Somebody dropped some pixels somewhere. What's with the flickering? We're fine. We're fine. It's impossible to run without scuff. The Emperor gives you, like, resistance to scuff, not immunity to scuff. So every now and then you just get things where part of your body will disappear. And if I was just recording a video, I could then edit that out. Can't quite do it with, you know, doing it live. If I do emotes, those faces would be great. Yeah, I was kind of thinking that. And emotes, yes. I like it. I think we'll say when rather than if. Embrace the scuff. No, don't embrace the scuff. I've previously had... Was it my... Oh, yeah, it was just my last stream. I mentioned another VTuber. Something I shouldn't do because it's against, like, my stream rules. And that's also as guidance for myself. And then immediately scuff happened, just as instant karma. Yeah, you see, there's a lot of moving parts happening when you've got a VTuber model. Here's an inside secret. I'm not actually using a camera. Yeah. It's not a camera. It's a virtual camera. So that's basically the equivalent of sharing an application. So you know how you may be in a work call or a university lecture or something at sixth form, because of course you're at least 16 to be watching this stream, and definitely do not say otherwise. No revealing ages. That is against YouTube's terms of service. But you are definitely old enough to be watching my stream. Good. I'm glad that's established. Yeah. Then say you were in one of those meetings and you shared a Word document. That's basically how it goes. It's just like that. No actual camera. No camera needed. And then it does, like, tracking of me with that application. So this all can be done without a camera. And a lot of people do it without a camera. So secret time, you may have seen clips of, say, a Japanese anime girl who is, like, very kawaii and ha 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 and happy and very feminine voice, suddenly have the camera turn on and reveal that it's a middle-aged man. That was staged. There's no way to accidentally turn on the camera. So that person was like, oh, what if I got famous? Not for being a girl using a voice changer who's actually like, oh, I'm 21, but is actually a 44-year-old Japanese man. Well, it worked. He definitely got fame, and people were like, I know you're a dude, but waifu. You are waifu. I love 44-year-old Japanese men. And they love you too. Especially when you go into their chat and tip them money. Yeah. So that... Hi, live amp. Hello. Yeah, so that instance was entirely staged. And it was all to play into this idea of, oh, it's just using a camera with a filter over it. Because then people think it's a camera with a filter on it. I am your waifu. That is wonderful. I think the term they tend to use is oshi, which is the Japanese word for push. As in, it is the person you like, and when you're mentioning VTubers and anime and things like that, that is the person you mention. You push them and say, hey, go, watch this person, you'll enjoy them. That's how it works. And you can have many VTubers that you like, and then your favorite one is called your Kamiyoshi, which is God push. But it's the one that's like your main. Main is probably the best way of referring to it. You know, you have your main army, your favorite army. If you play Overwatch, you have whichever character you main as. It's a lot like that. So VTuber models are either 2D or they're 3D. And there's a lot of different skills go into how you make one compared to how you make the other. So if you suddenly got a direct message from someone you'd never seen before, oh, polygoshi, that works. That works. But if you got a DM from someone you'd never met before who says, oh, I do VTuber help and rigging and all sorts of stuff, I work in 2D and 3D, it's almost certainly a scam. No one specializes in both. That is like... I'm trying to think of a 40k equivalent. I don't know, it's like, I main Age of Sigmar, but I also main 40k. Doesn't happen. It does happen. A bad example. Anyway, 2D and 3D use entirely different sets of skills. As someone who discovered the whole VTuber thing with you, that's quite educational. Good! I plan to teach VTuber stuff to 40k players and 40k stuff to VTuber enjoyers. So eventually I need to get like access and collab with more VTubers, and then I can teach them about 40k. Yes, you've read every 40k and Age of Sigmar book. You tend to enjoy one or the other and main one of them. So yeah, 2D or 3D. I am 3D that looks like I'm 2D. You just saw me spin around. That's because I'm 3D, so that's how that is possible. But looking at me here, sort of moving around, I look 2D. All of the fancy rich VTubers look 2D. No. They look 3D, but they're actually 2D. So if you see basically any of the famous corporate things, then they have a 2D model that looks 3D, because people like the 3D look. I like the 3D look. I like looking 3D. But the reason that they use a 2D model that looks 3D is because that way they can use the one piece of software that actually supports VTubers. And that is called VTube Studio. So that's the only software that really exists and is regularly updated. I am using stuff that I modified and that was like free on the internet. From reputable sources though. It's not just, hey, let's download some viruses today. No, I got it off good places to work with this, and it's the same ones that all the people in 3D use. It's just not supported. So scuff happens relatively often, but it doesn't happen as often if you use a 2D model. Yeah, so I don't know how to make a 2D model, but for making a 3D model, there's Blender. And that's where you can put loads of 3D things together, mix them up, make stuff. Other software things exist, but then you've got to make assets, buy assets, or borrow default assets and modify them. 2D models looks like there are many 2D layered parts. There is an absurd number of layered parts. Absolutely. And then, you know when they're like, if I do this, and then this, that is taking 3 different stills of a 2D image and rendering it and making it smooth to transition between them as if it was 3D. So that is why, if you're commissioning a model, commissioning a 3D model to be done is going to be the cheaper one. Commissioning a 2D model, oh boy. Unless you just want a PNG that has 2 actions, then it's going to be very expensive. We're talking in the thousands as far as money goes. Yeah, I've seen like tutorials of how to be a VTuber. Tabletop Sim 40k, I don't much like the Tabletop Sim version. I played it a bit when it was locked down and you couldn't actually meet up with people. It's something that I could do to explain rules, but I have the Battleotron for that. That's how I do it. Yeah, otherwise, hey, let's play some 40k together. I'm sure everyone has 4 hours to spare. Plus, doing it on the tabletop simulator means it really takes twice as long. I found it was kind of a drag to play the simulated version. Yeah. Otherwise, I just talk about it with people. That's probably easier. And then use the Battleotron for explaining stuff. So that's how I do it. Where did I get to? Oh, yeah. Tabletop simulator with the flying up and over. It's not going to measure distances very easily for you. You've got to use Shift Tab, probably. That might work. Yeah. 3D models, making things. Yes. So, where all my bits come from. Oh, yes, and the advice you see. So if you just search, how do I become a VTuber? You're probably going to come up with someone who says, okay, the first thing you've got to do is draw a concept. And if you're not able to draw yourself, then commission someone to draw concept art. And then you give that concept art to someone who can design a model. And then you pay them to design the model. And then you give it to someone who can rig the model, which is how the different bits interact. So when I turn my head, it has the collar go with it and stay fixed to the neck. That is something that was difficult in the new model, and we'll get onto that when we get to the new model. Yes, be very hyped. Yeah, so then it's like, okay, so you paid someone to draw a picture, then you've paid someone to make it, and then you've paid someone to rig it, and then you've got to figure out how to get the software to use it. And what happens then is after you've spent all that money, you realize, oh, I don't actually like streaming. Or I don't really want to make videos on this one topic forever and a day. So then you give up. So that's not a good way to start. 1,000 points or less. I could probably do like the combat patrol things. That might work. Work ends in 5 minutes. Well, I'll get through all of the VTuber stuff you want to talk about, and then you can catch up. Yes, we'll look at it later. Excellent. Wonderful. It sucks that you have to work on Sunday. It's Sunday. It's Sunday for everyone. I think it's Sunday for everyone. Yeah, unless it's switched to Monday. Oh, it's switched to Monday for some people, but it'd be like 4 a.m. Yeah. I tried to do it at a time that's like, we've got Europe. All of Europe should be available. All of Africa should be available. All of North and South and Central and Caribbean America. Should I get all of them? Hopefully. So I try to do it like at the best time. It's never going to work for everyone, but that's why instantly, thanks to YouTube, as soon as this ends, it becomes its own video and you can just pick it up as you went along. Yeah. Wonderful. So yeah, the advice generally is pay the Tuesday. It's not Tuesday. It's either Sunday, I think, or Monday. It's definitely one of those two. Yeah, so pay someone to do this, pay someone to do the next step, pay someone to do the step after that. Don't do any of that. You probably just want to get a PNG tube thing, which takes an hour to make and do. And then you can try out actually making videos. So I did, I don't know, 4 or 5, a few videos. Like I started making videos on the 15th of March, and then I actually debuted on the 30th of March once I realized, or the 31st, however many days there are in March, the last one. Once I realized, oh yeah, I actually like making 40k videos for people to enjoy, and people seem to enjoy them. So never do things like the rich ones do when they're like, oh, we're such and such a big company. We're going to do this massive reveal and that'll be our first video. Bad idea. There are VTubers on Twitter showing off their thighs. That is just filthy. No one should be showing off their thigh pictures. See, mine are nicely covered. Yeah. So don't do things like the corporate ones do. Actually try it out. Actually tested. Oh, you're subbed as of now. Very nice. Can't wait for the Primarch comparisons. Did I mention doing that? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe this is the algorithm getting ahead, and I've thought about doing a video on the Primarchs, and suddenly it's been transmitted to people in the future. I'll do something with the Primarchs for sure. There will be no hand-holding. We keep our hands very firmly to our sides. Hand-holding is just incredibly lewd. No one should be seeing hand-holding. Not on the internet, not in any age. Some historians are going to look back at this and be like, oh, just like the Victorians and ankles, they genuinely thought that hand-holding was intense. I did one collab with a guy called Voice on his Twitch platform, and I did the story of Sanguinius. So that is linked in one of my older community posts. So if you go to the community tab and scroll down like 30 posts, it's about there. I think I also put it in the Discord. It's almost certainly in my Discord in the announcements. So if you join my Discord, that's in the description. Actually, maybe don't look at the description right now. Later. We'll look at the description later. That's when we'll have a look and see what's happening there. Yeah. Have I finished talking about VTubing? Maybe. But do it cheap. You can get like a base model. If you want help, there's a guy called VTuber Senpai who really helped me out. And he's got like some free models, test models. So you can just borrow one of them, try out and see if you actually like doing VTube stuff. And then, if you want after that, commission models and things like that. Will I be talking about 30k Beyond Law references? Probably not. I can't get many games of 30k, so I'm not really up enough on it for how it works. There might be like mentions into how Games Workshop operates, because if you're wondering why all of the new stuff that just came out for Forge World, the rules, all the 30k stuff, isn't particularly amazing compared to the 40k things, that may be to do with sales. The 30k selling team and the 40k selling team are separate. So Baneblades existed in the 30k universe, but when they sell really well, the 40k team gets the bonuses and rewards. So it's in the 30k team's interest to have the rules for Baneblades not be amazing, and they're not. And then the 40k team, the Forge World stuff, it's not going to be super fantastic. It's going to be probably less good than the current things, with the exceptions being like the Space Marine Contemptor Dreadnought, which as far as I can tell, because they've said they're going to retire Dreadnoughts, the boxy kind of Dreadnought, here is basically your index rules to last you for the next edition, possibly 2 editions. So there's your rules for the next 6 years. It's especially dumb. Yeah, I mean, generally they seem... They're a company that's making massive profits. You've seen the index card analysis. You've seen they don't have enough staff for proofreaders. I mean, even their stores, they're only open like half the days in a week, if that. So they haven't got enough staff to man all their stores full time. Almost ordered Leviathan Dread right before it disappeared. I mean, they're okay. They're okay. Have I played against Wraith Knights? No. Eldar that I've played against was Aspect Warriors, Fire Prism, Guardians. And we didn't get very far. So I can't really say, at this point, how to fight Eldar, or what it's like with the Wraith Knights. It's something we'll get to once I've played a few more games. The Fire Prisms are multi-purpose murder machines, and probably need a 2 at the start of their cost, rather than a 1. So, yeah. 225 points. I think that'd be about right for a Wave Serpent. Not a Wave Serpent. Fire Prism. Yeah. That would work. So, 2d6 mortals. Isn't that the D cannon platform? I don't know if the Fire Prism does mortal wounds. I don't think it does. Dangerous. Oh, Wraith Knights. Wraith Knights do. Uh-huh. Yeah, they do mortal wounds. Yeah, they really need to just have it so that you don't trigger devastating wounds on the fate dice, or just have it so that fate dice are modified dice rolls. That means that you only trigger the devastating wounds on unmodified rolls of such and such. That would be better. That would just fix it, I think. Should be enough. Yeah, that's a bunch. I also need to figure out generally how miracle dice work, because that's a whole thing, but we'll get into that next week. And then the week after, I'm going to try and figure out if there's a better way of doing miracle dice, and then I'll send it to Games Workshop, and then somewhere along the lines, they'll fix miracle dice. It's happened before where I've asked Games Workshop to do something about Battle Sisters, and then they did it. So when they did their first community polling thing in like 2019, I was like, hey, Plastic Battle Sisters when? Plastic Battle Sisters, please. Here's how much money you will make from Plastic Battle Sisters. And then they made Plastic Battle Sisters. And then I said, okay, we need some, like, I don't know, Combat Celestians and bring back the Palatine from 2nd edition. That would be great. And then they did. And I don't know how I keep this power going. It's some kind of weird gift that I have. It's really specific, and it only works when I email Games Workshop about Battle Sisters. We can only use this power for good. So that's where I'll suggest, how about we maybe have changes to Miracle Dice so we don't have two factions with basically exactly the same rule. That would be good. Yeah. Oh. Okay. We're about at 8 o'clock, so I think it's time for me to get changed. Yeah. New model time. Gonna get the new model. Okay. Okay. Gotta move around now. I'm just... Chat, you're in the way. Chat, can you just... You'll have to move. I'm 3D, remember? I can't just, like, phase through it like it's 2D. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just crawl on the ground. I'll crawl on the ground and get past you. This is fine. This is what we gotta do. Okay. I'm in wardrobe now. This is gonna take a minute. Don't worry about it. I'm still here. Don't leave! It's fine. I'm here. You can hear my voice. Jingly jangle. Noise of things happening. Okay. Good. Good. Coming out. Coming out. I mean in the physical sense. Okay. Does it look okay so far? I hope it looks fine. Good. Good. So this is the slightly different hair. Oh, I didn't show off the bald spot. On the back of my other model, there was a bald spot at the back. I fixed it. Can't be having me going bald at this age. Or generally. Or ever. No, good evening, darlings. You hold the line. Guardsmen, hold the line. I want to see in chat, hold the line. You all hold the line. Okay, yes, looks good. Excellent. Excellent. So the eyes are the same, because I like the eyes, and they're a faff, and the hay fever persists. Yep. The hair's a little bit shorter, but it's still added extra bounce, so it's got floppy rather than just recoiling like a basketball. So I hope I look recognizable and still the same, and it's not like, new model who this? Commissar is coming. Yeah, ooh, Commissar, watch out. No retreat, no surrender. That's the thing. 10th edition von Carmian resculpt. That's what it is. Yeah. And it's my 500 subscriber reward. I kind of expected it would be at 1,000 by this point, considering how many I was getting per day subscribers. Nice to have you all, whether new or old. Good to have you. You're very welcome, and you're welcome to stay as long as you like. So, yeah, this is the hair. I go up a little bit more. There, you can see the collar. And you can also see what I was talking about with the collar and the rigging. Oh, the hair's a fun color. The hair is not purple, but it's purple tinged. It seems like a higher definition model. It is. It absolutely is. There are more pixels in my face than before. Previously, my model was like struggling at anything beyond 480p, which meant that some of my previous streams just got preset to default 360p just to keep me going. Well, now, in case you hadn't already changed it on the cog, we can stream in 1080, no problem. It took a bit to fix. You're slower than the rumor engine. I know. Bit at a time. Bit at a time. If Games Workshop can tease for, what, a month, 2 months, all of the basic stuff that's come out, and then even when it did come out, all of the rules, I thought, that's actually a little bit fast. I would have liked more time to digest all the different actual armies once they're out. Yeah. So the collar. Look at the collar. This is how it was meant to be in the first place. No longer flush to the neck, but actually outwards a bit. And then as I turn my head, the collar moves with it. And the fabric itself actually bends. Reason for that is, if it didn't, I would turn my head and it would stay fixed, and then you wouldn't be able to see my mouth, and then like face tracking, mouth tracking just wouldn't work. That would kind of suck. But it works okay. This is deliberate. This is deliberate. The way it bends like this is entirely deliberate. Ooh, you can see a lot more now. Okay, I'll stop there. I'll stop there. So, we have a very fancy cravat. You can still see the purple shirt beneath it, because I needed to keep the same color scheme. That slightly over the shoulders is now fully over the shoulders and is its own cloak. I'm going to do a spin around in a second, so you'll get to see. Popped collars, yeah. The red gem. You noticed the red gem when I was like, hey, look at this very specific thing. Wink, wink, call back later, definitely not alluding to anything. Yes, it's here, and look at it. Let's go real close. Let's look at the gem. Gotta get it right. Come here. There we go. There we go. You can see it much better, and I have pixels back in my hair flick. Good. Yeah, so it's 3 different colors to make the gem. Because you can see, much like when you do the highlights on Warhammer models for like gemstones and things, you got to get the light correct. So one side is darker shading, then there's other bits that have regular, and then the top bit up there has the lighter shading. So yes. There we go. There's the gem. And then we have the actual necklace. So the thing about the necklace is, it didn't just transfer from one model to the next, but I need it. It's part of the lore. Gotta have it there. So, much like a kind of Theseus ship triggers broom situation, I recreated the necklace pixel by pixel, entirely new. See if I can get a good zoom on it. It's an okay zoom. It's thicker as well. It's much thicker. Partly thicker. Yeah. So it's got a fuller edge on the right-hand side, as you're seeing it, the right-hand side. And is like fully fleshed out. And it's the gemstone itself has that little dot of white, which is made of like 4 different pixels. So when you're doing your Warhammer models and you get gemstones like spirit stones and things on Aeldari models, just a tiniest dot of white, and there you've got light reflection. And that's how we do. Yeah. And the teeth. I was able to do the teeth. Yeah. The teeth are... Yeah. You can see the teeth. Yeah, so the teeth are still there. I recreated them. Your new is the somewhere I can learn about your lore. I didn't do VTuber lore properly. I just did it as... let's make up lore as we go. So I think... what did I do? I've done clips of myself. So I have shorts. There's a couple of them. Oh, that's right. I have a playlist. There is a playlist called Von Carmian Lore or something like that. And it's just like 3 or 4 really short video clips from like live streams and things as we figured it out. For lore, the basic thing is I'm a vampire and I play 40k. And that's all you really need to know. I wasn't someone who made like 5 A4 pages of lore and backstory. That's what the corporate people do. That's what a lot of brand new VTubers do, and then they go onto Twitter and then they get lost. I'm not active on Twitter, which is maybe why I'm successful. Relatively successful. Definitely shut up. I should not, in theory, have 1,000 subscribers after a couple of months of doing this. That is like 10 times more than I should in theory have. So I'm doing something right, and part of that is I don't go on Twitter. Yes, Corvus has it, exactly. TLDR, Vampire with Hay Fever talks about 40k in a hallway. You have it entirely right. And we've just established some lore today that I have a changing room off to the right-hand side of the screen. That's some of the best character lore you've heard in a while. Perfect. Yes. Yes. The god rays in the background means you're a strong one. That's just moonlight. That is why, you know, we love you, Dad. Oh, I do dad jokes. I'm not a daddy. No. I did get good time with 10th edition. Yeah, well, before I continue with more model revealing, the first video I did, because I wasn't even sure I was going to talk about 40k, because when it works with like YouTube and things, you've got to pick something you talk about, and you talk about it to death. So you've got to pick something to sacrifice onto the altar of content, where you drag it outside and... Ooh, the thing worked. I don't know if it made a noise. It might not have made a noise. That may be some scuff. It should have made a noise, but it didn't. But anyway, we had a ping there as someone subscribed. That's great. I don't know what the delay was on that. But there we go. A thing that I wanted to happen has happened. Excellent. And it happened 2 minutes ago, apparently. Good. Good, good. Yeah, so, I decided that rather than like anime, which I watch occasionally to relax, and what all the other VTubers talk about, I was gonna just drag 40k onto the altar, cut it open, and rummage through its insides and show people, look, this is how 40k works. Here's a bit of 40k. It made sound on your end? Perfect. I don't care if it doesn't make sound for me, as long as it makes sound for you. And as long as the sound kind of worked. I'll check it afterwards. That's fine. Good. That is something I was struggling with fixing. Scuff, scuff, scuff. So when it came to the new 10th edition stuff came out, and we had the trailer for 10th edition, I was like, okay, there's the trailer. So we know what models are coming in the new box set, right? Because they're all in the trailer. And so I waited a couple of hours, and no one did a video on the new models that are obviously in the box set. So I was like, fine, I'll do it myself. So that's my very first video. It's not very good because I rushed it to do it as fast as I possibly could before anyone else did, which like took actually a couple of days before they even twigged. But yeah, that was my first video, and I was like, okay, guess this is what I'm talking about, because I got 500 views as someone who had 2 subscribers. So that was a lot. That was a lot. You're assembling Leviathan right now? Excellent. Definitely did my Leviathan video on the Flamer Men at the right time. Definitely didn't forget that the preview was last week, not the actual release, and I should wait until this week to do the video about that. That's how you found me? Excellent. I'm so happy to have you, Elk21. You've been here a while, I know that, which is lovely. Do you plan on doing 40k lore videos in addition to tabletop content? Yes, generally with a mix. So I have a lore video on the Genestealer Cult, which is half lore, half the index reveals as they came out. I've done something on Lionel Johnson as lore. Oh, and I did the graduation of Pekami and the fall of Cadia. As sort of a 2-for-1, if you want to learn about VTubers and you want to know about 40k lore. The sense of humor. Ah, that's excellent. I'm glad I am, in theory, kind of funny. The way I speak works. Excellent. Oh, you've done the Space Marine half of Indomitus. Oh, so that's the 9th edition box set. I found you whole looking for cute VTubers reacting to Bricky. Ah. I did occasionally comment on his videos. That was more of a, I'm not doing a video on this. Let's actually see what other people are talking about. Because otherwise I like to go into it fresh and blind. Is that the right terms? Yeah. Yeah. We'll go with that. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with the model. So I have a cravat now. I think that's what the napkin on the front is. And it's held together with that gemstone. Excellent. Excellent. This is all coming together. So the necklace I recreated myself out of pixels. That took some time, so that's like my own thing. The shirt is colored by me. The cloak was sort of a preset thing that I modified and repainted. Because again, it needs to match my colors, otherwise people who've only seen the old model and suddenly see a thumbnail will be like, who's this dude? Who is this? What's happening here? So it has to be obviously my hair, my color scheme, and all in the same places. So cute. Ah, thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, no, I am strong man, manly man, impressive manly man. Only the most manly of many manlies. Many manlies. Men play 40k. We don't need to look at my demographics that show that I have a very large percentage of women also enjoy my videos and or 40k content, whether for the VTuber side or the 40k side, whichever you prefer, or both. You learn about the other one eventually, like in live streams like this. That's the wrong thing. That's moving chat. We don't need to move chat. Here we go. Oh, we're getting good stuff now. So let's rotate me. Yeah. So if I turn around very slowly, the strongest man can be the cutest of girls. Yeah, like a blood angel outside. Handsome. Yes, handsome. So I went with like a kind of the best I could get for a fleur-de-lis to try and be like Battle Sisters. It's not a fully boxed in one. The boxed in one was just not as good. So I single fleur-de-lis for the Battle Sisters, and then I've also got some on the sleeves as well. Because we have to have fancy sleeves. We've established we need fancy sleeves with good thread count. My thing running. Ah, that's fine. Audio quality dropped slightly. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Oh yeah, I'm still turned around. Let me turn around again. There we go. There we go. Okay, yeah. So the visual language does a good job of portraying vampire. Excellent. Then I'm not going to get comments like, wait, you're a vampire? When did that happen? Did the teeth not give it away? The teeth are a little bit more prominent even on my regular speaking. That was some rigging that, yeah, we'll say rigging. Rigging is maybe not the most intense word. I did basic rigging to get it all right. I have a good thread count when standing in hallways. There we go. There is another, now established, part of the lore. Oh yeah, von Carmian is a little bit of tell. Yeah, the teeth only came out when I did certain expressions. Now it should be there in all of the talking. I never really got into the whole taking people's skin to be from Nostromo to do the Night Lords. Also, they're like so very self-righteous. They have that sort of, we think the best thing to do is to murder, kill people, and take their skin, and then they'll behave. And that just doesn't seem like good justice to me. But they think they're doing the right thing. Because there are no villains. There's never any villains. No villain thinks they're a villain. So the model. The waistcoat. I now have a very snazzy waistcoat jacket thing. I just really liked it. I didn't want to go all purple shirt, so wearing a waistcoat would be great also for the winter. Keeps me warm in winter, and it's padded, and it has some nice belt buckly things. That was an asset I just took. This inner stuff. Then the coat around it, the black coat, because I need to keep the black coat, that's been modified. So you can see the fleur-de-lis on the coat itself and on the sleeves. Are you looking at the sleeves? You should be looking at the sleeves. There we are. We're going way too deep. That's way too deep. If I rotate again, you can see much more of the cloak. Nope, stand up straight, no clipping. There we go. There we go. So that's an actual cloak that's separate to the body itself, rather than just being something that's like attached straight to it. Layering. Way too deep. You saw nothing. I wear safety shorts. It's fine. And way too deep. Yes. We can totally not do childish puns. Yes, so that it's good. Stand up straight, no clipping. There we go. So when I stand up straight, there's no clipping. The cloak itself is in 2 layers, red and then black, which works nicely. I'm just keeping my hands by my side because hand tracking is an absolute faff. We don't want to do hand tracking. I'll try it at some point. But we have gloves. Get the angle right. Careful, careful, careful. Got to get the angle right. Careful, careful. There we go. There we go. We can see the gloves. There we are. The gloves showing up. Stay on target. There, you can see very slightly. It has the leather lining on the knuckles. So that was very cool. That's like slight differences in black and grey. I mean, if you look up the sleeve, you can see there's a lot of grey going on top of that black. Yeah, so that's very fancy. I did always want gloves, but I couldn't get any glove assets that were like especially good. Yeah. Now I do. Now I have actual gloves. So this is much more like my model was meant to be. And then, as you say, we have this. The skirt. Because people like the skirt. It got there. Yeah, I'm on a razor edge between demonetization. Oh boy, oh boy. I've just got the monetization, or will soon, in theory, have monetization. We'll have to talk about that shortly. Because I need more watch hours. 1,000 subscribers, yes, but I need more watch hours. Then I can get them monetized in theory, which should work. It should work. So I had to keep the skirt, the skirt kilt, the skilt. We will call it temporarily the skilt. Had to keep that. There's a lore video about it. People kept referencing it. If I got rid of it, then, you know, all these comments on older videos would just not make sense. Have I thought about it making into a proper kilt? I think it'll just have to stay as pretty skirt. This one actually did very nicely transfer over from the previous model. Unlike, you know, all of the other parts, which needed to be remade or re-rigged. It's not tartan because it's tartan style. Because I'm not Scottish, I'm English. That's the difference. So it's a tartan style. And yeah, the arms look good. When I get monetized, I can afford some trousers. Well, it's a thought. I considered getting trousers, but they were just not as good. And then if I do a thing where I just fly for a moment, careful, careful. There we go. Bootsies! I now have actual boots. I made the socks myself. So, Genestealer stole my jeans. Yeah, you say I'm the one with comedy. Look at that. I hope this isn't immersion breaking. I'm just standing slightly on the wall, way back, and not like gotten smaller. I'm not pocket sized for people's convenience. So we have boots with laces, belt buckly things, and socks that I made myself, which are like the previous socks, but not the same. So there, that should be the whole model. Stand up straight, stand up straight. There we are. Does that look about right? That's too close. That should be better. Yeah, there we go. So I know we've got like, oh, look at the arms, they're amazing. We may not see all of the arms all of the time because they get cut off like by the bottom of the screen for when I'm talking. So I'll have to find some way of like, that clips off the top of my head, something like that. This sort of level, so when I'm talking about things, you can see the fancy arm design and it all looks nice. I'm looking forward to doing videos with this model. There will still be other videos coming out with the old model, not just the ones I'd part recorded already. But, you know, change of wardrobe is available. Is available. Nice. It looks nice. So that is the model. I've got the lovely red strand still going on. I've got the new necklace. And the old model is not going away. Oh, that's a thought. Yeah, Rule 34 artists. The general ruling on that is, I don't really want to see it, but if you want to make R34 artwork of my model, you can do so and show it to people and be like, this is what I made of this character. They don't want to see it, so, you know, don't show it to me or in my Discord. But generally, you know, you can show it off if you really want to. You love the boots. Everyone loves the boots. The boots look good. The boots are great. They are an asset that I didn't really have to do anything with, so that was even better. Yeah. So, yes, I have a Discord. Discord is linked in the description. And in the Discord, there is a separate tab for artwork, fan art. So if you want to do fan art, put it in there. I'll see it and I'll be like, this is amazing. I have one piece of fan art so far, and it is really nice. But of course, is of the previous one. Not being active on Twitter will keep me away from the worst of the smut. Absolutely. Yeah, I know some people are like, have separate things where it's, oh yeah, this is the weird version, or tag it as something separate. I'm not super keen on seeing it. It just doesn't fit the vibe that I have of, let's talk about Warhammer. Let's play Warhammer. Yeah. Yeah. So, showing off the model, that's where it was like a reward for you. I get an upgrade. Things look pretty. You can see that the channel is growing and I'm constantly improving things to make the enjoyment better. So that is a 500 subscriber reward. I never got time to figure out something for 1,000 subscribers. We've just hit that way too soon. It was on 999 at midnight UK time last night. So that's another, I don't know, 15-ish people over the last few hours. So that's still going up. And that's with me not actually releasing a video. And I've been doing a video basically every day since, well, what, the 15th of March? In theory, earlier. Yeah. So this is kind of a reward for you, because I've seen my stats, and 2% of my views come from, like, transhuman. Yeah, vampires get transhuman physiology. 500 to 1,000 subscriber reward? Exactly. But it's a reward for you, because 2% of my views come from not on YouTube. And when I'm getting, like, 2,000 views on a video, there's no way that, let me do maths real quick, 40 people, oh, maybe there are 40 people in my Discord. Is that how numbers work? I'm going to have to get a calculator. What were the numbers I said? Yeah, 40 people. I don't think I quite have 40 people in my Discord who would entirely watch my things in the Discord. So other people are spreading my videos, which is good. Which is good. My math is correct. Excellent. Yeah, so I'm not on Facebook. So if there was a group that was like, oh, how does this particular rule work? You could look up my Rules Interactions Explained shorts and then link them the video to that so that people can see it on Facebook. I'm not on Reddit, but people have enjoyed, I don't know, how the Dark Angels work, how the Dark Angels got their name, how Lionel Johnson got his name. Stuff like that has been enjoyed on Reddit. I didn't put it there, so one of you darlings and viewers must have done that. I'm not active on Twitter, but you could respond to things there. And I have no clippers at the moment. Despite, you know, being funny, I don't do enough live streams. Live screams. No live screaming. No. No live screaming. Scream in your own time. I don't do a lot of live streams. But so there's not a lot to clip, and YouTube has had it to clip than Twitch. But if there was a VTuber clipper out there who was looking for... yeah, it's optional. I know you're being funny, but allegedly funny. Allegedly. Sometimes. Not all the time. If I laugh at my own jokes, I leave it in. And then I forget I've done some jokes. But anyway, VTuber clippers, if they ask for recommendations, then you could say, yeah, I know a VTuber that's funny that you might want to clip. And then you could give them the link to the live stream and then like some timestamps. So if you want to put in the comments what your favorite bits were for timestamps, you could do that. And then if any clippers find it, they're like, oh, here's my job done for me. Because they're very busy people, are clippers. They don't have time to like say, oh, I hear this person's good. I'll just watch 10 hours worth of their live streams and see if there's a bit worth clipping. So if you have, here's a timestamp right away, let's go, it makes their job just so much easier and makes me more clippable, and then more people find me and more people enjoy me and you get more friends in chat. Yeah, that's sort of how that would work. But only do it if they actually ask for recommendations. Don't just be like, hey, you're Clipper, hey, Clipper, hey, Clipper, here's a thing, because they're just not going to like that. They're busy people, but they like links and timestamps. Okay. So this is a thank you to you. Hi, Jake Long. Hello. What if you wanted to thank me? Oh, well. I've said all along, I want to provide free joy and entertainment. So everything is free. I'm not paywalling anything. And you're like, oh, here we go. Here's something new. It's about money. He wants money. I don't need money, but if you don't mind, I would like money. it is entirely optional. You can still enjoy things for free, and especially if you can't afford it in this economy, then yeah, I plug my only jeans. Yeah. Yeah. But you don't need to give me money. If just watching the things, watch the videos all the way through, that's enough. If you then share it, that's great. If you like it, wonderful. Click a likey button. You've already subscribed, probably. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Most of you are not subscribed. I don't mind if you're subscribed or not. As long as you enjoy the videos, it's fine. If we feed the plastic crack addiction, will we get more content? Basically, yes. That is how it would work. Yeah. So, yeah, just liking the videos, watching the videos, putting a comment on the videos is more than enough to help spread the channel around. Because supposedly, from what YouTube has said, as soon as one person watches it, then they show it to like 7 more people. Ah, the model looks amazing. Thank you. I'm going to do a short, I'm hoping tomorrow, of like showing off the model. And of course you have the stream. You've got here just as I'm about to found it through the Lionel Johnson video. Yes, and then you thought, suddenly I want to know more. Good, well that was a decision that you've made. Well done you. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna shill. So, this is like, you know when you see those people performing on the street and they play music and they have a hat in front of them? It is like that. It is a place where you can tip money. Just be like, oh, I got this for free. Gratuity says I should pay 5-10%, however it works in America, standard culture. Then, I mean, 10% of 0 is still 0. So yeah, you don't have to give anything. But if you now go to the description, if you look down in the description, I have 2 links now underneath the stream rules. One of them is Ko-Fi. Let me just pop the thing up there. Boop. And boop. There we are. So Ko-Fi is basically like Patreon, except you don't need to sign up at all. You sign up to nothing, you don't get annoying emails. You can just give one-off money if you want. Or you can do long-term support if you so choose. The link is in the description. It's also right here. It's also here on the screen. Oh, my eyes. Oh, they did not track correctly just then. Never mind. So you can go there and there's a button that says you can give one-time money. And if you do that, it has a thing pop up like all the Twitch people have, where the thing comes up and it's like, oh, this person gave you money. And I'm like, thank you for giving me money. That was really nice of you. So it's like that. So you can do one-off support like that by just like, here's some pennies. I had some spare pennies. And I will thank you very much for the one-time spare pennies. Also behind my head is a goal for a microphone. I would like to have a microphone paid for, please. I'm using software at the moment to make the voice sound okay. Some of that software is in a trial period and is going to be discontinued or not made available without paying anymore. So I would like a good microphone before that happens. I'm partway there already. I just want to get all the way there. Ooh, a thing happened? That's many monies! That's so nice of you! Thank you, Dustin! Oh, okay. So, that's the entire microphone paid for. Never mind that goal. Forget that goal. That's gone. Oh, thank you so much, Dustin. I know you were asking of like, how can I give you money? That is one of the ways to give money. So thank you very much. 30 money was more than you ever needed to give. That's great. Okay, if people wanted to support me long term, and then I can be like, in theory, I could do this as a job because I have on paper a steady income, and you can, you know, then I can say to managers, hey, so I have a new boss, and it's like several thousand people that give me money every month to talk about 40k on the internet. So, bye. Yeah. But thank you for the monies, Dustin. Yes. So anyone can go to Ko-Fi and give one-off tips. I'm so glad that I set that up correctly and all worked. That was beautiful. Other than the one-time button, there's memberships, and you get bonuses for the memberships. This is, just so you know, I'm not going to be doing this long speech in every single video. I'm just going to be maybe mentioning that it exists. This is just the one-off while I announce its existence. So there's 3 levels of membership. There's the beloved Neophyte membership level, which I picked because it works well for Genestealer Cult. And if you don't like Genestealer Cult, it works quite well for... News just in, femboy looking for sugar daddies. No, that's not what we're doing. I can more or less look after myself financially. I will be fine. If no one ever gave me money, I would be fine. I'm not going to starve. It's okay. I'm not going to call anyone daddy. We're not going to get into like Finster territory. Yes, Neophytes also works for Black Templars. It also works for any kind of Space Marines. Say nickname. Okay. Hi nickname. Oh, is this like a daddy thing of like saying my name, Heisenberg? I never watched that series. But never mind. Yeah, so it's Neophytes, it works for Genestealer Cult, it works for Black Templars, it works for any kind of Space Marine. There's a Neophyte level. And then, in my Discord, you get a little bonus tag next to your name saying, this person is special, they're important to me because they give me a couple of pounds of money every month. So it's like bragging rights without having to actually brag. So that's very basic. Easy to do. You don't need to sign up for Ko-fi. You don't need to give it any details. It's all done through PayPal. So that's why I think it's way better than Patreon. From your point of view. The reason it's better than Patreon from my point of view is because the split is way better. Patreon takes a whole bunch of money. Ko-fi takes none. So I get the money that you want to give me. Assuming you want to give money, which again, you don't have to give money because tips are optional, and we always call them tips. How would it work with international currencies? It gets transferred to my currency of UK money. Is there any hit you take for conversions if you subscribe or give money? We don't say donate because I'm not a charity and I'm not a charity case and I don't want to pay charity funds. So we do not donate. That is what you do with charities. We tip or support. That's just my terminology. I mean, you can say donate. I know what you mean, but it's tipping or supporting. I don't think there's really a hit if it's converting money because it's all done through PayPal. There may just be like a 30, 40 cent amount of money. It's okay. You didn't know. And a lot of VTubers make the mistake of saying, you can donate to me. Well, you can't donate to me because I'm not a charity. But yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so I really don't... If I do take like the minor of hits, it's not like conversion rates and let's look at the Dow Jones compared to the FTSE 100. Nothing like that. It's like cents worth. Tiny cents worth. So that's why I set the goals at all like £2, which means that it easily covers any kind of minuses. So that's the Neophyte is just £2 a month. So that's $2.50 in US money. So that's around $3 Canadian. I haven't double checked all these, but yeah. Again, if you follow the Ko-fi link, Ko-fi, not green tea, Ko-fi. With PayPal, yes, new law, I'm not a charity. Wonderful. With PayPal, there can be a super low level payment where the person being paid has to pay PayPal for the transaction, but not really relevant for normal use. Yeah, I mean, I am a business with a business account. That means that you are actually paying Von Carmian, not whoever's just the puppet master behind Von Carmian. But yeah, it's barely anything, so we're okay. But yes, Ko-fi, not green tea. There's another level, there's 2 more levels actually. There's the Loyal Legionary level. That's £15 a month. So that's something like $20, around that, around $20 a month. And that means you get access to the Legionary Council. Again, that's on Discord. Fund Carmian enough so we can be the sugar daddy. I will be my own sugar daddy. Yeah, that's how it works. But Loyal Legionary, you can join the Legionary Council on Discord, and those are the people that get unique... what's the new unique things I mentioned? Oh yeah, you can request videos there. And as long as they're like 40k related, I'll strongly take that as on board. So if you're like, here's an opinion, I want a video on how the Tau main rule works. Please explain that in a video. And as long as someone else says yes, great. I see no reason not to do it. It's 40k based. You're giving me money for videos. I'll do the videos you want to do. So that's how the Loyal Legionary works. The Sucrose Gene Father. I like it. I love it, Kriv. I love it. And then there's the final tier, which is the Inner Circle. So you get all of the stuff from the Loyal Legionary, but you get one-off 30 minutes of my advice. So that can be on building an army, painting an army, creating an army, which army to go for next, how to do army lists, how rules work, how to make quick reference sheets, or how to be a VTuber, if you want to know how to do VTuber stuff. It is a one-off, redeem within 30 days, one time only, and then it's up to you to change your level of payment, unless you really want to give constantly the £25 per month. It's up to you to change it, but if you want to give that much, that's fine. That is the most I'm accepting at the moment. So that's all of the different things on Ko-fi. And I have been chilling for a while. I know. What about how to be a femboy? I don't know much about that. I'm totally not a femboy. I'm a femman. So maybe you'd have to go elsewhere for that advice. And there's one other thing. Place to be for monies. It's whatever's easiest for you, assuming you want to give money. I didn't want to ever make it difficult for people who want to give me money to give me money. So the stream elements, which is linked again in the description next to the Ko-fi link. And that can be one-off donations, no, not donations, tips, or support. And that was what you saw before, where someone subscribed and it popped up and did a bloop. That was that. So if we're ever doing live stream things, stream elements link makes it pop up, much like the Ko-fi thing just did just now. I need my own limousine. It has to be part of the law to be Genestealer Cult compatible. Fem daddy, fem man. Yes. I'll make dad jokes. I'm not looking to be a daddy for people. Probably. Yes. So I think that is all of the things for the money. Is that all the money? That's pretty much all the money. Yeah, we don't need to talk about money anymore. I'm going to shut up about money. I've been talking about money for like 10 minutes. That's more than enough. If you're retired, you call it getting milk. Oh. Oh dear. I plan to keep the show going for as long as I can. Really genuinely do. I enjoy doing this. It gives me a massive sense of purpose. And people enjoy it, apparently. At least 1,000 of you have really enjoyed it enough to be like, yeah, I'll sign up to continue hearing about this. And there's way more people just watch the videos than are subscribed, which I like. It's when you get to the big channels and it's like, I have 500,000 subscribers, but the videos get like 20,000 views. Then it's like, so you're not really that big, you've just been around a while. And that's probably the difference. Yeah. So tips can go in the hat. Oh yeah. So yeah, other than that, monetization for YouTube should be soon. assuming they don't think I'm an AI, because a whole bunch of people look at VTubers and like, that's AI, the way they look at anything that's computer and say, that's AI. Yeah, I installed Microsoft Word. The AI is everywhere. There's so much AI. No. The AI is taking over. So, yeah. You can't get monetized on YouTube if you use AI. So I have to keep stressing, I'm a VTuber. I don't use AI. This is my voice. This is my face. I made it myself. And I write my own scripts and edit my own videos. There's no AI involved whatsoever. But then there's people who are like, you're not a human. I don't see you as real. And that's just hurtful. And then they do it a lot to the VTubers who are AI characters. So that's like Kizuna Ai, Project Melody. And then they're like, oh, these aren't even humans, they're AI. And it's like, no, darling, no. How do I explain this to you? This is like you're pointing at Sooty and Sweep and shouting, oh my goodness, the bears and rabbits are so close to these children. Who's letting a giant orange bear this close to a child? Someone stop them. That's what they sound like. They're just crazy sounding. And you have to explain to them, so that's not a real rabbit. Sweep is made of, like, felt, not made out of rabbit skin. That's not what a real rabbit looks like. And that's the level you have to get to when you're explaining to people that VTubers don't have anything to do with AI. And you explain, like, acting! This is acting, children! We can pretend to be an AI. We're not actually AI. So, like the, 2001, 2003 film I, Robot? That had a robot in it with CGI. So, yeah, that wasn't actually a real robot. Oh, you don't know Sooty and Sweep. Ah, this is basic TV children stuff. You definitely should look up Sooty and Sweep. They're just hand puppets. They're hand puppets for children. Yeah. So that's the equivalent of, like, maybe I should have said Kermit the Frog. I assume you know Kermit the Frog. Must know Kermit the Frog. It's like saying, yeah, Kermit the Frog isn't a representation of what real frogs are like. The frogs are not able to speak. The water that's in the water you're drinking isn't turning the frogs into people who are able to speak and crossbreed with pigs. Everything is fine and normal. That is not a real frog. It is made of felt, and there is a person doing the voice. Yeah. Oh, are you saying K9's not a real robot dog? They're a friend or a friend of a time traveler? That was a fun thing. Did you know that K9 had its own spin-off series? It had an amazing soundtrack for, like, the opening credits. It was called K9. Do-do-do-do. K9. It only got, like, 6 episodes. And Sarah Jane, who was at the time a companion of one of the Doctors and got her own eventually spin-off series, she was the sidekick to K9. Yeah. Yeah, the easiest way to explain VTubers to people, because I've heard them struggle and be like, oh, voice actor, I'm like a voice actor, but on the internet, oh, I talk about anime or something. It's easier just to say, it's a puppet, it's made of pixels, it's a digital puppet, instead of being made of felt and put on a hand. And that's how it works. And I'm tired and I'm putting chemicals in the water that turn our freaking frogs into Genestealers. Yes. They called it the K9 trials. No, that was like the Nuremberg trials, where they put 9 dogs on trial. If I've understood dog trials correctly, that's what it was. It's where they go on trial for war crimes that the dogs have committed. And that's a dog trial. Yep. That's how that works. So it's a whole thing. It's definitely a whole thing. for how they work. Oh, I think I'm almost out of things to talk about. So I guess at this point we just have to talk about 40k. It was going to come back around to 40k anyway. It's inevitable. I'm the 40k Vtuber, the Vtuber that talks about 40k. Yeah. Beastmasters with gene frogs. Yeah. Would you be up to doing any of your personal army reveals? I mean, I could do. I have put pictures of my Imperial Fists on the community tab, so if you scroll far enough down that, you'll see like my Librarian, my Intercessors, I think Devastator Squad might be on there. Deathwatch, I did Deathwatch Kill Team Cassius, that's there. And they've cropped up every now and then in a couple of videos, like I'll show images of them. Well, I have a lot of armies, and getting them all out and arranging them so that I can take decent photographs or videos of them is kind of difficult. Do I like ramen? I do like ramen. I just don't get it often because it's not really common in England. There's a couple of places down south that do it. I'm up north, there's not really a big draw for ramen. But I do like ramen. I also like coffee and green tea. And also regular tea and, you know, sleepy tea, lemon tea, black tea, white tea, milky tea, Earl Grey, Lady Grey, English breakfast tea, all those kinds of tea. Yeah. Tell us about the entire Horus Heresy. Yes. How do you like your women? Hot. I like my women hot. Possibly, maybe having played 40k. I mean, as long as they're kind of into me, that's something. That's something I can work with. You're the second Northern femboy I know of. Not sure if that's important, but there's something there. Interesting. I assume that other one is like IRL, maybe, unless they're a VTuber or an actual streamer. Hot like melted butter. Do you prefer being called British or English? Either's fine. They're interchangeable as far as I'm concerned because both of them apply to me. I am both. I mean, it's ideal if my women are British. Importantly, being near me is nice. Having long distance relationships where it's like, oh yeah, I'll see you, well, let's see, once or twice a year in theory, and it's a 10-hour time zone difference. That's a lot. And IRL person. Good. Who likes the squats and their various other names. The small folk. Yeah, so ideally someone being British would be nice. Just nearby. Accessible. Within hand witnessing distance. Yes, we don't touch hands, which is why I have gloves now. That's why I had gloves as part of my model. And that's why they're shown off there. Yeah. How many games of like 40k have people played now? Because I'm on like 2. And I'm going to have another one, and I'm like expanding the size of the army each time I go to try out more and more Genestealer Cult stratagems. And then once I've gone through all the Genestealer Cult stratagems, I like my women to be accessible. Basically, yes. Oh boy, you're not married? That's a plus. You're in the same country as me? Wow, I'm setting the bar so high right now. Yeah. Yeah. So have you played like a bunch of games of 40k? Maybe you're not here for 40k, maybe you just like VTubing. I'm going to have to talk about 40k though, 40k. I'm getting more used to the rules. They are pretty simple. Pretty simple. Relatively easy to learn. It's just some of the weirder interactions we're getting used to. And then there's things like the Battle Sister rules. I'm not super into that. Okay. That's a song. That's definitely a song. Got into the game with Indomitus, but wasn't able to play in 9th. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, lockdown was not ideal for meeting people. It's like, hey, are you available for an online date? And then you're like, oh yeah, I wore my best pajamas for this date. Oh, well. Oh, the Crusade stuff came out, though. We got Crusade stuff. It was very lackluster. It was very... Here we go, here's some kind of rules for you. They exist now. And it's like, oh, you want to transfer your current Crusade army, like my Battle Sisters, into a new Crusade army. Well, the rules are, do whatever you want, throw away your traits, get new traits. Which just, there's no thought put into it, making it like compatible or saying this trait is equivalent to this trait. Yeah. You got a couple of armies, Kriv. Nice, nice. I mean, you could just start off by playing them against one another. Learn how they work. Stuff like that. Most people meet their future partners at work. Yeah, that's gonna suck for me if my work is being on YouTube. Oh no, that means I'd have to date a VTuber. You know what VTubers are like. They're weird, they're cringe. So cringe. Yeah. They breathe in cringe. They become the cringe. Please reconnect, please reconnect. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Okay, we blipped for a second. A little bit of scuff. We're okay. The scuff is back. Yes. Yes. We're fine. We're back. Good. Good. Yeah, Flesh Tuber, I could, but then dates are like, there's their human self next to my avatar. And it's like, yeah, that's wonderful. Don't worry. It was apparently the internet generally for me. It was trying to do too many things at once. I clicked one extra tab to try and open one thing, and it just didn't like it. So scuff, not cringe. Yeah. We hold the line. No matter what, we hold the line. I could find a Warhammer YouTuber. I mean, the majority of them are men. I'm not against men, in theory. Don't say daddy, don't say daddy, don't say daddy. But women are tastier. And there's not a lot of women that play Warhammer and are YouTubers. And there are none that are women who play Warhammer who are VTubers that talk about Warhammer. I did kind of get a niche, like a unique thing. Like, you have definitely seen me before. All of the separate bits of me. The playing Warhammer, the talking about Warhammer, the being a VTuber, the being a vampire VTuber. None of that is original. But when you put it all together, it's the good kind of original. The kind that people have been waiting for. Because I get lots of comments like, where have you been all my life? Presumably they're talking about my content, and not anything weird like that. The internet died before the VTuber did. Exactly. VTubers are here now. We're just embedded in society. So seeing a VTuber shouldn't be anything new. But seeing me as a VTuber talk about 40k, that's going to be new. Because I'm struggling to find VTubers that talk about 40k. I found Voice, he found me, who is a pre-debut VTuber on Twitch. Sometimes talks about 40k like once a week. So I did a collab with him. I'm looking into finding other people who have previously talked about 40k and are VTubers, or are VTubers that actually know about 40k. But this is the weird thing. It's all about numbers and subscribers. So it depends if they want to collaborate with me, if I can make it interesting enough for them. Let's be hypothetical for a second. Let's say in Nottingham... Oh, that's funny, Lord Callig. That's funny. But let's say that Warhammer held an event for 40k VTubers, and it was going to be 1 mile away from their Nottingham HQ, so I can get to it, so that they can stream it, and you can see in the background, there's Warhammer HQ, all of that. They were like, okay, let's get the 40k VTubers together and do an award ceremony for the best 40k VTuber. I wouldn't even get an invite. Because 1,000 subscribers, it's amazing. I am super, super thrilled that there are more than 1,000 of you who looked at me and went, yep, that's what I'm into. But in the grander scheme of things, events like that, they want people with even more numbers to get more numbers. Hearing a British person say mile. We do everything in miles in Britain. Like France is kilometers. So when we play 40k, the British-made game, it's in English. Yeah. We're a chapter, but we need a legion. Well, actually, now that there's more than 1,000 people who are subscribed, that means we have more legionaries than Magnus. Yep, because he only had 1,000 sons. So we are now wonderfully at minimum legion strength. But yeah, they would be looking at legionary strength people. So they'd be like, hey, here's one VTuber who a year ago got, I don't know, 50,000 views on a video where they reacted to, I don't know, the 9th edition trailer. Something like that. They'd be saying, hey, do you want to come along to the 40k Vtuber Awards? Yeah. Lord Kelly can only think of 2 Warhammer VTubers. I mean, I will let you name them, because then in theory, I could contact them and see if they're interested. I'm not saying I will contact them. I'm not saying they will be interested. But maybe we could make a thing happen. Maybe. Otherwise, I'm stuck. Not stuck. Very happy talking to 40k people and also being a VTuber, and then talking to VTubers about 40k. That's what I said I was going to do. Over 1,000 members? The Codex of Studies does not condone this action. You can put a nice little mod, which I showed off in the Discord, onto your Space Marine so that you can play looking like a Chaos Space Marine. So right at the end, when the Inquisition and the Black Templars turn up and they're like, I'm not sure if this person is actually a Chaos traitor. And Leandros is like, he has been tainted by Chaos. And you're there with your blood-splattered Chaos power armor with 8 pointed stars covered in. It's like, you lie! I am no traitor! Alpha Legion armor would, of course, work best. So I am von Carmian, of course. Commissar Asuka. I will write that name down and have a look. That assumes their DMs are open. That assumes I can contact them, but I'll look into it. See if they have a similar vibe that's compatible. Because if their whole thing is like, let's look at... I mean, I haven't seen anything of them. If it was like, let's look at the number of breasts on this demonette. Now, the number of breasts is important. It is 6 boobies maximum for a creature of Slaanesh, because that is the holy number. But a minimum of 1. Everyone must have at least 1 Tibby to be a part of the Slaanesh cult. Yes, the Genestealer Cult has to grow. Absolutely. I'm going to be talking about some Chaos Cult stuff, which is just going to be fun. I don't know how serious I'm going to do the Chaos Cult fun stuff, but making it giggle fun is the aim. So I'll do some Chaos Cult stuff. There's maybe a bit of Slaaneshi art out there. Very good. Yeah, I'll give them a look up. And then if it's compatible, I'll give them a contact. And then if they respond, then we can sort something out to do a collab. But that's a lot of ifs. And I won't tell you at any point if any of those ifs stop, because that's just bad form. Yeah, you don't ask publicly for collaborations. You don't say if people rejected you publicly for collaborations. You just get on with the job. Hello, the Game Changer. Hello. Yeah. Oh, hey, I now have a Ko-Fi and I have a Streamlabs, so you can click the buttons in the description and you can give me money if you so wish. And while we're on a live stream, those tips will pop up here and I can go, ah, as I thank you for the money. I do now have a new microphone money, so that is very kind. Thank you for that. Yeah. So that's all things for the future. Good, good. Good, good. Something fun is that there was an all Zangor list possible at 2k. Ooh, I'm going to talk about an all Zangor list. I'm going to see if we can do all cultists for, like, all of the 4 factions. Remember, there's no Slanesh, it's just mainstream Chaos Space Marines. And we'll see how we can do an all Zangor list. That could be fun. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Okay, I've reached, like, 60% energy expended. Only 40% left. Rather than letting the stream slowly die off, I think now is a good time to end it. I've shown off the old model in a way that I never did before. I've explained how VTubing works pretty well. You can ask me more questions in the Discord, or if you want a one-to-one tuition on it, then you can go to my Ko-fi and choose the Inner Circle advice option. And then I'll help you out with being a VTuber, if you so wish. And we've shown off the new model, which you're going to see a lot more of. And tomorrow I'll try and do a nice video with a full, like, body twirl, so you can show it off. And I'll get some, like, 3D movement rigging working. A Genestealer Cult plushie. Oh, merch is like a theory-only thing at the moment. It's gonna take some time. Love the new model, can't wait to see more. Wonderful, thank you, Kriv. I hope to see more of your comments. Yes, so I now have Ko-fi and Streamlabs. Not Streamlabs, Stream Elements. I always get the two confused. And we never donate, we only tip. Or we support. Those are the only options. Wonderful, we've got all that. And you feel free to spread my videos around on Facebook and Reddit and Twitter and other places like that, where they would be welcome. You know, don't just, like, spam them, just where they're welcome, where people need the help. Recommend me. So thank you all for doing that. I hope to see you in the Discord. I hope to see you commenting on my new videos. And I hope to see you, darlings and viewers, next time. Bye-bye!